I'm sorry. It's way warmer than it should be, which is funny because this video is going to come out on like the 14th of October. It's the 7th of September today. And it's a really warm day, but I assume that on the day this comes out, probably not very warm. Hopefully not very warm, otherwise something is very, very wrong. But it's hot, and it's about to get hotter. Because today, well, obviously, welcome back to Overclock Showcase. If you watched the end of last episode, you would know that today I am using Sticky Fuel, which is, of course, an infamous and beloved unstable overclock for the Flamethrower. And I think those words describe it very well, and I think they sort of describe my relationship with it well. Definitely the infamous part. I've always kind of lived, as far as my relationship with the Flamethrower goes, I've kind of lived in the shadow of this overclock, in that I haven't really felt compelled to acknowledge its power and like prowess, and the fact that it is, in a roundabout way, it is probably the strongest thing on the Flamethrower. Probably. I'm always kind of going to be just like a ammo or like fuel stream diffuser kind of guy and just use heat. I do think that is pretty close to at least equally good, but I know the truth. I know that Sticky Fuel is fantastic. So Sticky Fuel, of course, specs entirely into the Sticky Flames aspect of the Flamethrower, which is obviously it's less obscure than what the cryo cannon has. I reckon a lot of people probably didn't even realize that the cryo cannon's trail actually froze enemies until they added crystal nucleation. Anyway, Sticky Fuel, so as you can see, greatly extends Sticky Flame duration, which is by how much? 6 seconds, so it's more than double. Even if 6 doesn't sound like a massive number, it is still more than double the duration. As well as increased damage from Sticky Flames. I always used to think it came with increased slowdown as well from the Sticky Flames, but it doesn't. Of course, you can see it has already been employed in my upgrade selection here, the slowdown. In return, you've decreased tank capacity and less ammo. So really just less ammo. So less magazine and less ammo. It's actually, to look at the exact numbers there. So you lose 75 ammo and 25 tank size. So you lose 100 ammo. And you feel that lack of ammo, but you definitely gain killing potential back that is worth the trade-off. It's a ridiculously powerful overclock, and it pairs wonderfully with both the Subata and the Wave Cooker. Some would probably argue with Wave Cooker especially. So, of course, Overclock Showcase, I show you the two most different builds that I can. These aren't going to be super different because Sticky Fuel, it still comes with the very inbuilt limitation of you're not going to use it on elimination or industrial sabotage. You're just not. It's a bad idea. So those two missions are really out of the question. Which means Sticky Fuel kind of resigns itself to being primarily a wave clear, a crowd clearing tool. However, the way that we combo that to achieve single target damage is going to be fairly distinct between the two builds. So this is the temperature shock one. No surprise it's a temperature shock one, and I had to literally restrain myself physically from using, pardon me, gamma contamination, because of course, as soon as I'm presented with a driller primary video to do, gamma contamination is immediately on the table, and I just have to resist. And I resisted, and I think for good reason, because I think if you're going for a temperature shock build on the Flamethrower, but not a Sticky Flame one, I do think gamma contamination with exothermic reactor is actually the best way to go. But we already have the thing that is going to finish off those enemies no matter what health they're left on, right? Which is the Sticky Flames themselves. So I thought it was best to just defer to the sort of Omni tool that is Mega Power Supply. And Omni tool describes our Wave Cooker here quite well, so I might as well go for it now that I'm on it. Obviously, for Temp Shock, you take exothermic reactor, and 90% of the time you're taking temperature amplifier. There's no reason really not to. I can't say it feels overly strong, but then again, you do need to keep in mind the fact that temperature amplifier is not really designed to it's not really designed to set enemies on fire or freeze them. It's more so designed to keep them that way. And a little bit of just having it cool down faster, whatever. Ammo. Why ammo? Simple answer. Exothermic reactor does not demand beam width because it spreads the temperature shock effect to surrounding enemies anyway. And we're mainly using it for single target anyway as well. And damage would be just a little bit overkill / redundant. So ammo makes the most sense. That's what makes this really the Omni tool, because we're also going to be using it to clear certain things, especially certain flying enemies. There are certain things where we're just going to use the Wave Cooker as a really high ammo sort of multi-purpose tool to just handle different threats. The Flamethrower's role is a bit more defined. Not that I won't be using it against Macterius at all, I definitely will, but it's really just there to lay it down in front of waves of enemies, or lay it down underneath single targets that we want to deal with the Wave Cooker. So I find range is generally the best, because not that it reduces range, and I mean, thank God it doesn't. I used to think that it did for some reason. I think I was mistaking that with Face Melter. But the range just feels a lot better. It lets you set up those walls of fire further away from you and get ahead of things better, which is why... Hold on, I just want to check if I'm using that on the other build. I am not using range on the other build. Okay, for that reason, I think I want to do a salvage op, I think. In fact, I'll actually reset the lobby, because I think there's been a change of the mission rotation. I think a salvage op would suit this concept a bit better than a deep scan. Obviously, what deep scan... Actually, well, the thing is, deep scan also kind of does suit it perfectly fine. Although that's a little bit... Ooh, no. I think I'd be sort of... it would be a bit too brave to think like a duck and cover would be a good idea for Sticky Flame Showcase. The Sticky Fuel Showcase. That would not be the wisest decision that I've made. But yeah, that is the bare essentials of it. In terms of the actual Sticky Flame stuff, we got both a bit more increased duration. That brings it up. So basically, it's worth noting the base duration is 2, and it goes up to 8, basically. In this case, we actually got to 11, which is worth taking. It's really the only thing you'll take on this tier anyway. Not that heat would be bad, but it's not complementing your Sticky Flames. So also, I don't want to have like a stupid... Alright, that's better than the parting. That's better. Anyway, and slowdown. And the slowdown is there because our Wave Cooker doesn't slow them down. We need a reason for the enemies to stay in the flames. And in the case of this build, I'd rather have the ammo than the fear. And the fear is really only going to make them leave the flames. So the fear is quite a tricky one to implement with Sticky Fuel. I have implemented it on the other build, but you'll see why that works. And Heat Radiance. Obviously. Okay, maybe it's not 100% obvious, but it's kind of no reason to use anything else. It's just that unless you find yourself really not needing Heat Radiance, in which case the wonderfully named Targets Explode is actually not going to be useless. You could definitely use it against like tiny enemies. Anyway, and Impact Axes, because obviously Impact Axes are always a good idea. But in this case, it's the fact they kind of give us our stopping power, really. We don't really have anything here that really disrupts enemies. We don't have any kind of fear or stun on our 2 weapons. So the axe and the satchel as well are kind of there to provide that. In that case, if that was specifically for the satchel, maybe it would have gone for 4 satchels, but I wasn't thinking of that beforehand. That's kind of just the general idea. Our primary weapons are not going to be doing a lot of... crowd control, just mainly crowd clearing. There is a difference. Anyway, I'm gonna take a sip of tea to see if I still got it, because oh shit, they don't have that good hand stability. I just a little bit of tea on myself. Anyway, this is the first recording I've done since starting my job. So I hope you'll all congratulate me. You don't have to. Actually, please don't. But do feel free to. And I guess it doesn't really have much bearing on the video, or at least the point is that it hopefully doesn't. I'm not saying like I'm tired or anything, but it's obviously before... Let's wait for mission control to stop. Anyway, so sort of before, I've been doing university for like 4 years, right? And that still gives you quite a bit of free time. And especially given that I basically didn't go in during the summers, because that's kind of just the nature of the course. And seemingly kind of just how university works in the UK. So I've been used to having frankly, a pretty ridiculous amount of free time over the last few years. So I'm only doing 3 days a week at work anyway, but it's still a sharp turn. By the way, just to make sure I don't sound like a ponce or anything, or someone who's sort of like over complaining. First of all, I don't even think I'm really complaining, but just to avoid any kind of confusion, it's not like a minimum wage job like at like a McDonald's or something. It's a proper job, whatever that means. And it's not going to affect the normal output of the channel, but that fucking Electro Minus video, which I am fairly confident probably isn't out yet by the time this comes out, that's the kind of thing that will be affected, and that's why I was kind of planning to just make that and probably not make anything similar to it for a while, because I do have a bit less free time than I used to. It's not by like a ridiculous degree at all, but it is still true. Anyway, as far as throw that out there, I don't think it's kind of just something to fill the air of the video, really. I'm never gonna like make an update video about my life or anything. That's just a ridiculous notion. I couldn't imagine being so self-important, and just looking at the channel, it doesn't make sense either. I mean, how many people are gonna watch that? I would say maybe 10. You know, so it's fine. It's fine. I'm just filling the air. But it's cool. It's cool to have a bit more sort of leeway with how I spend my money. Not 100% because you do want to think about the future and like actually making certain things happen. But at the moment, there's no immediate need like thinking about bigger like life decisions. But it's interesting. It's going to help me justify buying Borderlands 4 immediately, and hopefully, well, more importantly, buying a PC at some point in the near future. By the end of October is kind of the idea. Just to make, well, obviously, I think that's the general idea, but there's definitely an element of making sure we not have something else has been said about Rogue Core's release date, right? Something else, like whether it's like confirmation that it's coming out maybe in December, which would give me a little bit more time. Maybe there is going to be a delay. I doubt there's going to be a delay. I think because I primarily think because it's early access. Not that means there shouldn't ever be one. Obviously, there was one. But when you look at the state of the game now, as good as it looks, a year ago, you can tell that it would not have been in a state that people would have been happy with. So I don't really blame them at all for that initial delay. But I doubt we're going to see another one. Anyway. Spitballers are interesting critters for Sticky Flames because, well, actually, stationary enemies in general are somewhat interesting because it just stays beneath them, and that works. Anyway, get a little bit. Let's just lay it on a bit. There we go. Obviously, there is the inbuilt limitation of Sticky Flames. It's designed for ground-based enemies, you know? Anything else is kind of off the table for being dealt with by Sticky Flames. Obviously, max heroes generally do have a weakness to fire damage, and they're easy to set on fire, so they're still entirely valid targets if it's quickly set on fire and then temp shock and all these things. Anyway. But this sort of things like not every ground enemy is obviously like the same level of movement. The spreader, for example, moves side to side fairly fast. I think the slowdown helps with that though. Slowdown that we have on our Flamethrower. If you're confused about what I just did there, that was me trying to make sure I blocked the that spitballer shot. Because the drills are a very easy and convenient way of blocking spitballer projectiles. So watch this. Oh, okay. I guess I could have assumed that some damage had already been done to that Brood Nexus, but this one. Because they just get set on fire so damn easily. And this is my only problem. I do feel like the heat aspect of Sticky Flames is a little bit not underbaked, but not as reliable as you might like for a temperature shock build. Because you see, I'm still kind of having to lay down more flames in between temperature shocks to make sure he stays on fire, which you would have to do with a standard heat-based build anyway. But that heat, even for a Praetorian, if you just put on that single extra heat upgrade, you basically set them on fire instantaneously. And with this, I kind of have to put the sticky flames down, remove the Praetorian again, and wait for it to like activate. Anyway, so this is going to be a good test of the range of this. So this is 15 meters range. I think it will hit the bottom of the spitballer. It didn't. Okay, fine. If it did, it would have set on fire again. So yeah, okay. That's not unreasonable. It's not. Hold on. Let's have a look. Let's like point down there. Hold on a minute. Hold on. That's 14 meters. So it should have hit. So it should have hit the floor. Okay, whatever. I don't think I missed. My angle could have been like, I don't know, maybe the angle's wrong. I don't know. Whatever. Alright, let's get this done. Oh, I've already done both the mules, so, you know, getting through this fairly quickly, which I think is fine. I think it's really what I need at the moment. I don't want to be like, you know, well, the way things are, I don't want to be playing like Deep Rock for hours at a time, really at any point in the moment, which I hope that seems reasonable. And I don't think an individual overclock needs like a really like long gameplay like showcase to really show what it's capable of. Because when it comes down to it, if it's like a really long mission, that's really a test of endurance than it is a test of a specific build. So I don't know if I necessarily need to do like the most exorbitantly complex missions. Right. Oh, well, I need to find one more blue cat. Actually, there is, however, a Actually, I know how I'm going to structure this, because there's a core stone somewhere in this cave. I think I will do the uplink segment first, and then have taken like a resupply. Yeah, I think that's probably the way to do it. You saw it just up there. Okay, I will also grab this Ulo cat. There it is. So yeah, here's the core stone. It's Nitra. Yeah, we'll come back to this basically. I'm not going to do it immediately. I could end up putting a resupply next to it as well. That's entirely. Actually, not entirely in the vein of possibility. I think I want to make sure that is possible. Yes, I took a fall there deliberately. Alright, is that enough? Nope, I need 38. Nitra. Come on. 36. There's another bit there. 37. 39. Alright, bolt detonator. Let's go. This should be a pretty good just showcase of what Overclock's meant to do. There you go. Alright, bolt detonator. Come on, buddy. Let's do it. This should work well, because it's going to get slowed. It's a slow enemy anyway. It's going to get slowed down. Sets on fire easily. Hopefully, this will be really good for Overclock. Oh. Beautiful. Alright, let's head over to drop pod. Rich. Anyway, so I'm ready to do the uplink. I just obviously get the strong feeling that an ambush is going to show up any second now, but no matter.
Uplink ready. Triangulation initiated. Do not leave the triangulation zone, or we will lose
As in,
connection.
the idea of an ambush is what made me start the uplink before taking the resupply, because the ambush could have showed up while I was taking the resupply very easily.
Triangulation at 50%.
Oh man, I fuck. Sometimes Thorians are like more tedious than they should be. You know, the perception of them is that they are the basic tank enemy, but they are a little bit more than that. As in, like in Rogue Core, the Clamorhead looks like it'll be far more of just a basic tank type enemy than Thorian. It kind of inherently elevates itself by having the poison breath and like the poison cloud after death as well.
Please get back into the triangulation zone.
Which, by the way,
Losing your signal.
I don't really know why the Oppressor has the poison cloud. I know it is a Praetorian, like underneath, but I don't know if it needs that. Thing is, oftentimes these this part of this mission is predicated on how many enemies you get, like in terms of difficulty. As in, sometimes you just don't get very many, but you can still sort of start kiting them, that kind of thing, to build up a good amount that actually justifies the use of sticky fuel. Right. Okay, I think, you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually going to do that core stone with my current ammo amount, I think.
Fuel cells have arrived.
Right.
Welcome to the drop pod.
Obviously, some red sugar first would be nice, but it's only because I've got 3 satchels, which means don't really want to resupply. Although, first of all, what group?
Flares recharging.
No, fuck it.
Hold your breath. I was born ready. Spread her down. Stay clear of the spillage.
Now we do the core stone. Although, I might not need another resupply. Maybe. Just maybe. Anyway, I want to get there quick because another ambush will probably show up quite soon. I might be completely playing on a false memory, but I feel like there's something like about how ambushes show up more like at this point in the mission or something. Maybe? I might be talking completely out my arse though. It's entirely possible.
Explosions. Rifts and war spawns. This sort of work isn't in my contract.
But it is now, buddy. Oh shit.
Stand your ground. The cornerstone is almost
Now, I want to do something I don't 100% know, but I'm pretty sure you can temp shock the core stone. I know you can temp shock the omen. It's weird. These are both things that you cannot visibly set on fire. So the first component of this experiment is seeing if it's set on fire. I don't think it is. Okay. I might have just failed to set it on fire. But the core stone can take damage over time. So I assume I probably can, and I just didn't put enough. Just didn't put enough in.
smash the core stones so we can put an end to this fire.
Let's try again. Okay. I would say it doesn't look like I can set it on fire.
No ammo left.
I have no excuse. Certainly no good excuse. I just have a blindness to certain things. Like I don't have particularly good spatial awareness in video games at all. It's actually interesting in that I almost feel like I have a logic cap on video games where I can only apply so much actual thinking to it. And I genuinely think it's like a mental block where I can't like. I genuinely, I subconsciously can't take them seriously enough to actually make genuinely intelligent decisions. I genuinely think that's what it is. Because me getting, I've talked about this kind of thing before, but me getting better at video games is entirely based on repetition. And that is why I am generally just not very good at PvP games. I mean, I've played so much Marvel Rivals and I'm just not good at it. I've got like multiple characters. Like to Lord, which is like the highest level of proficiency of a character, that it's like represented by like a emblem, and I can't say I'm like great with them at all. I just don't have like, it's not. I don't really have. My decision making in video games is just very questionable. Like even like Hollow Knight, which is entirely learnable just based on like doing things repeatedly. Watching me play that game would be interesting. I do mean Hollow Knight, by the way, not Silksong. As of recording, I'm still playing Hollow Knight for the first time. So yeah, I started playing it recently, but still before Silksong was announced. I get through games pretty slow as well. And after playing Hollow Knight in the way that I have been, I know I'm not going to play Silksong immediately after finishing it at all. In fact, I'd be surprised if I even play it next year. It's probably going to be a while before I pick up Silksong, especially because I know that it's harder, and I find Hollow Knight pretty difficult. Difficult in a way that I don't dislike, though. Worth noting. I like what Hollow Knight's doing quite a bit, but it is hard.
at 75%. You're almost there. You're jeopardizing the mission. You need to stay close to the fuel cell.
That was nice, like, wave that we just did. This idiot. You're not going to make it. That spreader, though, is going to be annoying in that position. Did I hit that? I think I might have hit that with, like, the radial AoE on the impact axe, but not the direct damage. Basically never happens. Explicitly. Yeah, I'm going to do is one resupply. It's good. Good stuff. That's for the Stalker, by the way. In fact, I might just do this till the end of the mission.
Calculating orbital trajectory. Powering radiation shielding. Ecom operational.
Oh, this shouldn't work, by the way. I mean, it kind of isn't. Yeah, things. Well, a ranged enemy could kill me, obviously. That's no surprise. But yeah. I mean, this is kind of overclock where the to showcase the video almost feels somewhat redundant, so I'm kind of just doing it for myself to make sure I've sort of practiced with it a little bit. I don't know what I'm doing right now. Let's just ignore that. But it's interesting because this is an overclock that everyone knows about, and at this point, in terms of like the community contribution, they do think about what the series can provide, where Deep Rock isn't a sort of high-profile game at the moment. Really, obviously there was the Fortnite collab recently. You know, things are really only going to kick back into gear for Deep Rock. There's going to be some revived interest when Roll Call comes out, but hopefully most of that attention will be on Roll Call itself. So it's going to be a while before Deep Rock gets really to spotlight again. I got to level 25 just from that mission. I was hoping that would take 2 missions, but it's fine. I'd actually very deliberately like not finished missions that I was using to practice for this, so I wouldn't get much XP because I was so close to level 25 already. That's fine though. So we're going to end up doing 1 mission, level 25. But yeah, it's going to be a while before Deep Rock has really any kind of spotlight. So it's like, what can I like claim that I'm providing with this? And I think it really comes down to the lesser used overclocks, and sort of people who are just getting into the game, or maybe don't want to use those overclocks themselves, so they need sort of an outside take. But Sticky Field, damn it, everyone knows about, so it's really only going to be useful for new people. Anyway, the second build, like I said, how we sort of deal with higher priority targets is the main distinction between the two. The Flamethrower itself is not going to be too different, but how we deal with the hordes and heavy enemies that it is going to be controlling and killing is different, because this is the Subata one. So I've taken magazine slides here for some reason. Mainly because I wanted to make sure I was taking obviously a bit more duration, because otherwise we're stuck with 8, which isn't super long, and fear, so I'm losing out a bit of ammo, so I thought I'll take the magazine size, and I think it's felt okay since, because it still feels like it's only 25 ammo less than the other one. Actually, that's technically not true. That's 275 ammo total. This is 325, so it's a 50 ammo difference, and I do feel that, so I don't want to bring it down even more. I want to at least take the magazine size a little bit. But yeah, so in this one we have fear. And we have fear because the fear effect is extremely strong, and basically this build is just all about like disruption. It's disruption city in this one. This should be, is that what I'm using? Decontaminator? No. Then it is going to be custom engineered. Yes. Anyway, point is we've got a lot of disruption effects here, and fear is one of them. But also, our other disruption effect helps keep the fear in check. It's a really weird sort of thing. So we have Tranquilizer around Subata, which is designed to both deal pretty good damage, so taking a bit of ammo and a bit of damage, as you can see, but also stun and keep enemies on fire. Mainly stun, because the stun keeps them in the fire itself, basically. And obviously volatile bullets gives us that extra damage and the sort of sustained heat when we need it. But really, it does a lot of it comes down to 2-round burst. 2-round burst really facilitates Tranquilizer rounds very well, because Tranquilizer rounds is 50% chance to stun, and so 2-round burst, it is a theoretical 100% chance. You know, it's not actually, but it's 2 50% chance rolls, right? And it helps with sort of what the Flamethrower really doesn't do as an accompaniment. Because obviously, a frozen enemy, their armor is rendered useless, and corrosion melts armor over time. Fire does nothing to it though. 2-round burst, however, comes with built-in armor breaking on the second shot, as long as they both hit the same enemy. So there is some... That is... When I use 2-round burst, chances are it's on a fire, like, combo build. Anyway, so what we can use this on. I guess I did imply it would probably be a deep scan, so let's have a look. That one has robots, which is... Ooh, do I want to do the robots? I did say I didn't really necessarily want to test myself too much. I think because of... Actually, no, I will do the robots because they're great. And secondly, they're great. The only problem here is putting the sniper turrets. They're going to be pretty hard to hit, but I do have the increased magazine size, which will help heat radiance have more time to set patrol bots on fire. And sticky fuel specifically is really good against the turrets. Obviously, that does apply to all of them. So the burst turrets, the repulsor turrets, and the sniper turrets. But the sniper turrets can be pretty hard to hit, so we'll see. But any that are in range are going to be very easy, and all of the ground-based turrets are going to be super easy as well. And who knows, we might get a nemesis, which would be bad. Sticky flames in some cases can like rise high enough to damage and like heat up nemesis, but it's not reliable. Anyway, come on. I was going to do that any other way. But yeah, also I took neurotoxins well, just to sort of help. I don't actually know why exactly, but I knew I didn't really need impact axis for this build. It didn't feel necessary, really. Oh, a Tritolite. Well, no, we'll definitely do the Tritolite. Of course we will. I'm thinking about this like XP brain kind of thing, but you know, I'm doing like literally, I'm doing a secret secondary rival presence. If I chose this for XP, I'd be stupid because it's going to give me a lot of XP that I can't use because I'm already level 25. Anyway, where was this thingamajig? It's on this. I'm at the right altitude for it. Oh, it's over here. It's over here. Ah, the turret. Watch this. So that does also mean the turret controller is nearby, which is good.
Resonance crystal, where are you? I found the resonance crystal. I need a resonance.
God, I think Deep Scan is such a good mission type. Like they really nailed it. It does genuinely, like in a sort of, you know, long-term compartmentalized sense, it does make me excited for whatever they do next with Deep Rock, because I think they so clearly still have it. And obviously, I think we're still riding on the assumption. And look, I'm not going to bother with the secondary objectives here. I can't even get XP from them, and there's 2. But anyway, I think everyone's still riding under the assumption, when they do happen to think about it, that there will be a season 6 and it will bring at least 1, maybe 2 new biomes, and I think that's very tantalizing. I think with the quality of Deep Scan, I think a new biome would be very exciting for everyone. Okay, I'm going to practice something I haven't really been doing when I've been using this in practice, basically, which is actually stunning enemies beforehand. Okay. Maybe I shouldn't. I don't know why I thought that was a good idea. Yeah, that's kind of what you're meant to do. There we go. That makes more sense than... Obviously, having something like neurotoxin is good as well, because we are, unlike before, the Flamethrower is all of our AoE, pretty much. And then the Subata's not going to be dealing with hordes of enemies anytime soon, is it? Obviously, I'd love to see that, and obviously, once again, is the assumption, Season 6, new secondary overclocks, right? Who knows what the Sparta would get. But it better be something interesting. Nope, don't do that, it's a waste of ammo. Can't help it. Lukewarm tea. Not good. Right. Oh! This is perfect! This is exactly how I wanted the sniper turrets to be. But that's going to hit me easily. But I'm going to kill him easily. That should do it. Yeah, this is pretty good. This is pretty it's pretty swish. Oh, it's here. Right.
Resonance crystal here. Requesting a resonance.
Bunker up, team. Swarm incoming.
Swarm incoming. Okay. Obviously, the idea here is to sort of lay down the sticky flames first, and then basically stun any sort of enemies that are going to run away that would not die from the fire. So, guards and up, basically. Anything weaker than the guard, you don't need to worry about. They're going to die from the fire. But beyond that, you might want to think about it. But they start thinking about it. Oh. Why'd that go away over there? Anticipator there. All you need to do is hit it basically once with the Subata to stun it, and then put like a single bit of sticky flames underneath it, and it will die. Got another one here just to really sell that idea. Oh, well, I almost killed that with the Subata by itself. We're two-shotting web splitters as well, which is pretty good. It's it pales in comparison to explosive reload on the Subata, where you can literally one-shot web splitters. But I don't have any major complaints, especially with these the way these materials are positioned themselves. I like that. That's pretty good. Okay. I would be willing to call this build a little bit, maybe a tad flimsier than the previous build. Like, it's not as devastatingly effective, but I still do like the combination of Tranquilizer rounds with the sticky fuel. I think it's a nice synergy. Maybe not overly satisfying, but I like being able to use it. And now I'm making a really conscious effort to ignore these secondary objectives. And it pains me. It might pain you too. I apologize if you are very like obsessive about that kind of thing and can't like leave stuff gathered. I have the capacity to leave stuff like leave stones unturned, but it's not my preferred way of doing things either necessarily.
Support fire, please! Booyah! Move your tin ass over here and hurry!
Motherfucker. I swear this minute's been around for like a while. Okay. By the way, I should mention, it's not you like explicitly can't use sticky fuel on elimination. I mean, it does give the sticky flames more damage. So it's actually not actually unusable at all. It's obviously the only thing that is like technically speaking, is probably better than most things that you could take into elimination on the Flamethrower, except Scorching Tide. Because I would say, I mean, it's definitely better than the Face Melter. Face Melter is so terrible. Don't let anyone tell you different. Like, seriously. Also, use it for yourself. That's fine. What? Man. Oh, nice. It's hackable. Now, I have a very evident nitro problem. But I don't know how to. I don't know if I know how to fix this problem immediately. And that fucking net. Oh man, pisses me off. Just seeing it down there. It's that stupid notification. It's so hot as well. Okay, fine. We're fine. We're fine. But obviously, I have no intention of losing. But it's starting to feel remotely possible. Hold on. Max Harris have come for me. Oh, that went quite far, didn't it? Jesus Christ. Fuck that. Okay. Overall, though, our sticky flame should be more effective in these circumstances because of the fear. Or at least, that's the hope. Thing is, I'd actually already found a third resonance crystal, but the scanner that it dropped down was like, it just put it stupidly. That's it. That's the one. And it's well, it's not stupid far away, really. Is it? So there's a breeder there. Don't know if you noticed. And I still have a massive nitro issue. Getting a little bit scary at this point. Alright, fuck it. I can come back. I need to find nitro now.
Swarm detected. Light him up, miners.
Just take your sweet time, old lady. I've got all day. That's it. That's
This technically is spawn room. Also, that no, it's not the turret controller itself. Oh, this is where the Tritolite is. Jesus Christ.
mining is hard work. Good thing
Oh shit.
no more grenades here.
That wasn't really intentional, to be honest.
Wave is almost over.
Don't crush ya. I'm having the best time
Okay,
of my life.
I can move on a little bit because I think I want to put this resupply in the room with the Tritolite.
Your
I guess that makes sense.
are over. Resupply ordered.
Ordnance.
Supplies are on the way.
Resupply arrived. Go get
Just a complete mess. I don't think I did anything wrong there. Genuinely. Which is not a great attitude to have. But I don't think I did. I think I played that very correctly. And it was a simple stroke of bad luck.
damn players could need an upgrade. Deep Rock seriously needs to invest.
Okay, looks like the final one of those isn't too far away, but I still need to actually sort out the other one, so I'm going to do a bit of off-screen mining. Actually, I just realised, I'm pretty sure where I'm going is probably where the turret controller is. Okay. No, not explicitly. Okay, that's fine.
Crystal located.
I will do this turret controller as part of the mission. Part of the showcase, I think.
Shredder ready.
But for now, I need to sort these things out to stop. No more swarms, please. Hold on. Oh, they're here. Actually, there is... Hold on, I'm gonna check something. Okay, I figured it out. I think I kind of already knew this, but so the fear effect, it doesn't get applied by the sticky flames. It only gets applied to basically every tick of damage that you deal with the flamethrower while firing it. It still works in conjunction with sticky flames. They do, you know, they do stuff together. It's not a bad pairing, but sticky flames itself does not cause the fear. Also, I just realized that breeder is still out there. Whatever. It's Tritolite time, and I totally haven't. Just ignore the fact that my drills are on 0%. There's nothing. I haven't been doing anything. Totally nothing that would actually potentially render the drill elevator part of the mission like pointless, and which would be really stupid to do in a sticky fuel showcase. Anyway, so I've done plenty of these before in these videos, but basically what I do is I don't actually do the Tritolite deposit. I just use it as a grunt spawner, basically. This thing will spawn quite a few liquid grunts for our pleasure. Honestly, you see this room? This should be the radius of the neurotoxin grenade. It should be massive, I think. Anyway. But hopefully this should be exactly just a really great showcase for exactly what this Overclock is good at. Now I'm going to try and kite some. Now obviously the patrol bot's still going to be attacking. I can't really change that, but I'm going to try and kite a bunch of these grunts around. Build up quite a decent horde. Although with the way this patrol bot's moving, it might, yeah, I might not be able to. Actually, if I just tell Oscar to get that, he won't have to command him again. Right, fuck it. Go with that. What did I get stuck on there? That would be weird. If you're wondering what I'm doing, I'm just autistically trying to keep my ammo count balanced. Oh, I'm going to kite for the rest of this thing, I think, and then just kill whatever's left. Look at that. Wow. How did I fail to do that? That's ridiculous. Alright, fuck it. We're basically done. Alright. And now I can get back to work on my secret project. But not before I absolutely ace this hacking minigame. This. Oh, I almost thought I was going to do it, because I wasn't expecting to. But when I got that first thing, I was like, "Oh, am I going to do it?"
Freaking piece of crap. I'm in.
Whatever. I've been given quite a good reason to give up on my project. I didn't even think about this. So this is right. Well, you can see what I've been up to from this. Trying to dig down to the place. It is possible. You look. You could get through that. You could, but would you? Oh, actually, how much did this do?
Explosives, please.
Nothing. Well, that's weird. Why is it an angle like that? It's really weird. But yeah, you could do that, but I don't actually know how it works. I think you can do it, and I think you can collect the Morkite seeds and actually complete the mission that way. But don't do it. It takes too long. So I'm gonna go back, grab one more resupply, and then start the drill. Oh, because obviously it's fair to do this because this is a great sticky flames. Like, I guess, specialty? This segment of this mission? Although I do have 2 patrol bots under my command, they're kind of going to just clean house, to be honest. Anyway. Not 100% of it. And now I've roughly got flames everywhere. I take... Fuck, how did you get through? And you. And take an opportunity to just maintain it. That, I think the gas will like, go up. Yeah, it does. You know what? I think it shows just such genuine respect and understanding of what isn't annoying in their game when they made it so that Shellback dies the moment it hits the drill elevator. Like, that feels very in tune with the player base. They do still allow bulk detonators, so, but I suppose it's harder to avoid. I mean, we're there. Basically, I'm just going to do this to make sure that nothing comes into the geode with us. Alright. Good. Well, there you go. What are you doing here? That seems impossible. Anyway. You don't need to see me collect all the Morkite seeds. Whoa. There is an amount of enemies still coming. Right, fuck it. You know what? Fuck it. Fuck it. Oh, that killed like 1 grunt. Brilliant. Alright. What? What's going on? Those bitters. Whatever. See you in a moment. I actually did click the extraction button without thinking. Alright. We're back. Let's go. Well, we're not back. We're about to finish. But yeah, I mean... I guess there's really not much to truly say about it. I mean, it's a extremely powerful overclock. It just handles hordes of enemies, no matter how dense. Just like, no, well, not like that, but like without any issues. And still leaves you with enough ammo to sort of just handle other little things like stray Macteras. And obviously, the case of what we'd be doing a lot of is setting up bigger enemies for damage bonuses and temper shock and things like that. But yeah, it's great. It's like it is an S2 overclock. I mean, when I finally end up doing the tier list in like 2 years, actually, I don't know if it's gonna be quite that long. When I finally end up doing that bloody tier list, you can bet it's gonna be an S tier, but it just is. I'm not stupid. I don't love it. It's not my preferred way of using the Flamethrower, but it is good. It is quite satisfying to use. Great Overclock. And that's really it. I could pretty much do the outro now if I wanted to. And I will. So, if you enjoyed this episode of Overclock Showcase, please make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to see more stuff like this, and you want to stay on top of everything to do Rock and Roll Core, also make sure to click the bell. And as always, thank you to our wonderful member Box Fox Scoot, our one and only. And when I get back to the rig, we will have, first of all, we'll find out what next week's Overclock's going to be, then have the customary Overclock themed drink, which I guess is just going to be Burning Love in this case, which is fine with me because that's my favourite drink in the game. That was pretty much the most direct showcase of what this build does, right there. Alright. Well, now we can relax. How much XP would that have gotten me, though? I'm thinking like 18,000? 15,000. Yep, there was definitely some stuff in it. Alright, so, back to the Gen 1 primaries again means next week is the GK2 for the Scout, which is, gonna be good, because what I have left on the GK2, well, actually, okay, if you, haven't seen this part before, basically how this works is I number the overclocks on the weapon from left to right, top to bottom. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Obviously, you start with burst fire. We did OFM and AR stability engine, so that means that 2, 7, and 8 are knocked out. These are with the rest of them, which are on the Wheel of Fate. And I think the funniest thing is the fact that Electrifying Reload is still available. I feel like I've used that so many times in this series because I have. And yeah, it could be the Overclock that we do next week. Let's find out. That's 6 or 1? 1. Okay, probably a good thing because 6 would have been Electrifying Reload. And well, you know, out of what's left, there's only really like 2 interesting Overclocks, which is, you know, Electrifying Reload and Bullets of Mercy. Anyway, I've got gas rerouting, so who's that going to be? I guess it's probably someone who already still has OFM on. Ah, there you go. There he is. All right, let's put this on for now. So yeah, gas rerouting will be next week. So please stay tuned for that. But until then, it's time to have our last drink of the day. Well, first and last. It will of course be Burning Love.
Some burning love, please. And make it sizzle. That's sauce.